There we go. All right, so for everyone that's joining us today, we have here joinpd.com, and it's we just put in the code and that's it, and we're good to go. So I think we're ready to start, and that way we can participate and we can learn a lot. And I also have one more tool that I want to share today, so hopefully we'll be able to do both things. So let's start the class. Anybody that comes in, I'm just going to kind of copy this. Oh, there it is. I'm going to copy this and put it in the chat. Yeah, so that way when somebody comes in, and you guys can help me if anybody else comes in and they need help.
Hey, Alejo, did you get your books?
What?
Did you get all your books?
Yes, I did 3 of them exactly.
Which books?
Very
For
good.
what?
Go ahead, show up.
For the Celta course.
Oh, show
He's
us.
got the hard copies.
That's
how
so
committed
cool.
he is.
No, two is for the Celta course. 2 are for the Celta course. Sorry, one of them is for myself, personal, and I love it, and I wanted a hard copy. So this one is the first one that I love personally.
English pronunciation and use, nice.
Advanced. So that one is just my personal favorite. It's for the Celta. This is the first one.
Grammar for English language teachers, very good.
Very interesting. Recommended. 100%.
Nice.
I'm still busy with it. And the other one is this one.
Practical English usage. Nice. Congrats.
So, yeah. Thank you.
Very cool.
I'm
very
busy.
cool.
I'm busy.
We were down like this morning. Gonzalo, one of the people from the community, they sent us a link to be able to download a whole bunch of books. So this morning we were busy downloading books like crazy because it's an editorial that actually came out, and this for 48 hours, all of their books are going to be free. So
for 48 hours, so you can imagine the rush.
Yep. So we were there. I was like going through everything. It was really cool. All right. So I'm going to
150 books for free for 48 hours.
Yep. And it's everything like engineering, medicine.
Yeah,
I mean,
saw
everything.
it. I was up to check a couple of them, but yeah, I forgot which ones.
All right. So
I have to check
from
again.
here, hold on one second. Let me open up my teacher slide, put it on the other side so you guys can just get this one. All right, so I'm gonna get started. So, well, the first thing I wanted to see is how you guys are doing with all of these changes that are going on. So if you go to the device, right, you can move your thing along. So you feel comfortable teaching online. I've always felt comfortable teaching online, so I have zero stress, like not zero, but minimum stress, just because I like it. I actually prefer teaching online sometimes.
Until the connection is broken.
Yeah, there are challenges. There are challenges, but right. So I'm gonna show you guys the responses so we can follow along. There you go. All right. So if you're looking at my screen, you guys can see where the answers are. So I like this because we can even get to see like how we all are. I think we all are comfortable with technology, but I actually got a question from one of the teachers, and I thought it was really interesting. And they said, well, how can we teach remotely with no connectivity? None. Mm-hmm. So that's actually a question that I wanted to like leave today, so that maybe in the next one we can come up with ideas and try to share and see what we can come up with.
What I've heard from a couple of public schools that I know is that they came together the first 2 weeks and set up a full bimester, the copies and workshops and worksheets and everything, but they had to build out the document or the book, the booklet, whatever you want to call it. And the cool thing was that the teachers, los directores de grupo, the group leaders, team leaders, the homeroom teacher, would on their day out do a tour through the neighborhoods to drop off the packages. So I
heard about that one too.
Cool.
It's not the best idea, but it's a good solution.
I think it's a great solution, yeah.
To give parents the empowerment of the theory and the practice of it, instead of just going like a workshop, here it is. It's they took the time to put in the theoretical explanations, if not the real work that comes into explaining it, at least so parents and family members can help out. Because
that's not that crazy. That's not that crazy, because here in Belgium, teachers are doing the same. they come like knocking every door from every student. I mean, from the classes and from their own schools, dropping up tasks and homeworks and things at the door so they can continue studying with their parents and the things. So the idea is that at least family can help the students, and they keep doing the normal school year, because of course it will be chaotic
Oh,
this year for
definitely.
everyone.
The thing is that it's well known the weakest link of what we're having right now to deal with in education
Yeah,
is the parents.
Yeah.
It's
because
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 they're not the sole translators of their kids' education, but they are the sole responsible factor in their kids' education. So it's like,
Yeah.
I know I
So
have to do it.
wait. But
That's why I
I
want you
want
to do
I
it.
want this to be the topic for next time, because I want us to actually think about it, and not just for schools.
sorry.
Because the thing is, we have
I get into it, don't worry.
the one is how school systems and schools as a whole are doing it, but then what do individual teachers do? Like, that's the
Cool,
question as
cool.
well, right?
So
So
we should
that's the question
extend
for
that to
next time.
public and private, and to
Yes.
maybe teachers dynamics, because
Yeah.
public schools are doing one thing. I have a lot of references of private schools doing others. So if we could bring that to like into at least a
Connect
panoramic
everything.
view, we can see what they're doing.
Yep, exactly. All right,
All
so
right.
then that brings me to my second question, though. So when we talk about what's happening now in education, a lot of terms have started to come up and they're all like flying out there. So I want to see what we know and see how we can put all of that together. So if you go to your devices, we have here then the next question. So we have three. I want you to write either keywords or definitions for each one. So for those of you that haven't seen how to use Pear Deck, so from the student's device, they have this little menu here at the bottom, and that menu will allow them to either text or write. I found that the text option is really good because it kind of fits into the page and you can type really easy. It comes out like this, and you can just type. So you guys can
More
start writing
practical.
there. So yeah, it is. So face-to-face learning, let's see, what do you guys think it is? And then as we'll do like one by one. So face-to-face, I think, yeah. We have another person joining us, yay. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to share some of the responses. Hi, okay, we have another teacher that's just joined us. I'll give her a little welcome in the chat so she knows what we're doing. Okay, there we are. All right, so let's see. I'm going to start sharing, like showing the responses here. Okay, you guys are fast. See? All right, so let's see some of the answers that we have here. We have interact, right? People can interact. In a blended environment, you learn and practice. In an online learning, flipped. All right. Okay, what about this one? I can go down here. So this was mine. I was just starting to write it. So I put physical class, right? For me, face-to-face is just like that physical space, right? Let's see what else we have. Attention at 90%. Yeah. Okay, so this is interesting. If the attention is at 90% when you're face-to-face, what's the attention when you're online or remote? So think about
Not
that
the
one.
same.
Not the
Not the
same
same.
at
That's my
all.
answer. Attention on 90%, because 100%
Yeah.
is impossible.
Yes. Okay, good. Now, let's go to the next one. So let's see if we have blended learning. What do you guys think for blended learning? So we had here this one, learn and practice. Let me put in my next answer. Okay. Okay. Got it. All right, so let's see. Best of both worlds. Okay, I like that. Let's see the next one. I put a mix, like the mix between both of them, right? Oh, I like, he even switched it and everything.
I had to do it because I don't know how you can zoom out or like zoom
Yeah,
in,
me
not zoom
You
out.
neither.
hit
That
enter.
it's difficult. No, it's
Oh,
difficult.
really? You can
Seriously.
hit enter? Wait, hold on. I
Well,
want
I
to check
was.
that
Again.
theory. I want to check that theory because I had a long one and it
I'm
didn't
not
fit.
joking. You have like
Oh,
the
that's good. Yeah.
nods,
No, you
and then
press
I don't know
enter.
how. Like
Press
what?
enter in the middle of the sentence, Alejo, and it'll go to the next line.
Just space it out.
Space it. Yep, yep. Good point. Good point. All right, good.
I'm still
So we have,
learning.
we're also learning. Okay, I like this. It's blended learning is both flexible and mandatory. Okay, yes,
Okay.
I like those
That's
two words for it.
co-responsibility. Cool.
Yep, I like that. Okay, good, good. If anybody else wants to participate, remember you guys can do it here. Just join in and you can follow along, okay? Now, if you want, you could also just write what you think in the chat or, you know, raise your hands. All right, perfect. So let's go to the last one, online. So what's online for you guys? Let's see.
Mm,
I'm gonna put one word, but I think it's a lot. So flipped. Okay, so who put flipped? Who can tell us a
me.
little bit more? Why flipped and online?
Why flipped and online?
Mm-hmm.
Because personally, I think that that's why I was continuing with the ownership of learning. It's because we're now empowering students to be their own owners, their own pacers,
Mm-hmm.
but with a guided learning path. So
Mm-hmm.
it has to be a controlled environment from a teacher's point of view, but it has to be an autonomous environment from a student's point of view. So being it
True.
flipped means I can limit the amount of information I want the student to process before we do the session online.
Okay.
Meaning it's kind of that's why I had the best of both worlds and I like flipped. So I'm like in between blended and online. But given the situation, I have two new words, which become synchronous and asynchronous.
Yes, those have been like my
So the
keywords
concepts,
this whole
exactly.
time.
So the concepts have now blurred from blended to online and have covered more ground being synchronous and asynchronous.
Mm-hmm. Agreed,
And now
agreed.
flipped, which used to be something in the blended learning curve, has now become something for the online, fully online, 100%
As
online
well.
learning curve. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like, what are we doing with the flipped, and how do we dosify the flipped for our students?
That dosifying it for me is the big challenge. So let's see. I put self-paced, like what you said. I think autonomous learning, self-responsibility, accountability. I mean, all of those things
Ooh,
for me are
definitely.
super important.
And
Let's
wait,
see
hold
what
on.
else.
Before you continue,
Sure, sure, sure.
that's exactly the reason. I have a statistic to share with you.
Oh, sure.
Last month on a program I work for,
Mm-hmm.
we would normally, and by normally I would say before COVID-19,
Mm-hmm.
um, we would register 3,000, 4,000 users for a 2,000 seat program.
Mm-hmm.
And last week, or this week, rather, we were in a meeting, and it turns out that for the same 2,000 seat program that we have 29,000 registrations.
Wow.
So we went from
Wow.
3,000 to 29,000 with the same product, meaning this could be interpreted in two ways. People have nothing to do at home and want something to do.
Okay. They're
It's
bored.
understandable, they're bored. But boredom leads to discovery, boredom leads to learning, boredom leads to musicians, artists. I mean,
Curiosity.
exactly. So what we're doing there is we're actually sparking some interest that has not been sparked by education in years. I mean,
Okay.
it's going to that right side of the brain instead of to the left. It's going, okay, what do you
Now
want to
that's
do?
an
Maybe
optional learning though.
experimentation. Exactly.
Well, that's an optional learning. So I think the
What I
big
teach is
challenge,
from
yeah.
the human development and for the skills development area of English, not the
Mm-hmm.
mandatory side of English.
I
So it
think
has
that's a
become
big challenge when it's
exactly that's the
mandatory.
statistic I wanted to show you because it's actually
Mm-hmm.
people going, oh hey, you know what?
Let's
I
go
might
for
as
it.
well give it a try. Exactly. So you're seeing this defeat of fear because of not boredom, because of the quarantine, because of maybe the social aspect, the emotional aspect of it, and the reach. That means, I mean, I have a computer, or I have a cell phone, or I have internet. Why not? So it was funny because today during a conversation, I flipped. The question is, why do it? And right now the question is, why not?
Why not? There you go. There you go. All right. Now, the thing is, how do we transition that novelty idea of why not to students who are mandatorily studying online? You know what I mean? I think that's the big challenge. So let's go with the next definition that we have here. Somebody else wrote quick help from the internet, better use of technology. Yeah, so in internet, we have all the tools if we know how to use them. Right? We have so many things
Responsible
available.
use.
Yes. And that's where safety comes in, knowing digital literacy or having digital literacy rather. I think all of these things are important. Distance learning. Yes, yes, yes. All right, perfect. Okay, I see some of you are starting to learn how to use the tool. For those
Play
that are
with
just
it. It's an
logging it, yeah,
experiment.
play with it. This is an experiment because last session we used Pear Deck. We literally
We
started
learned Pear Deck,
exploring
and
it.
today
We
we're
learned
using
Pear
Pear
Deck
Deck.
together. And for today's session, I wanted as a teacher to give it a try. So that's why today, explore it. For those of you that are just coming in, so you can see here it has a menu. And the menu will allow you to write text as well and everything. You're doing it? What do you think so far, Zuli?
Yeah, I'm doing it.
Cool,
Well,
perfect.
according,
Uh-huh.
Wait,
According to
hold on.
what? Go
Do
ahead.
something. Do something. Go back to the first two questions so you can see the transitions.
I'm going to write it.
Okay, go ahead. Perfect. All right, so here we have like this tool. Imagine you being in class and asking students to do this in real time, right? So you can have them do all of this. Now, of course, there is one big, I would say like hiccup in this whole situation, and it's how many devices do your students have? Can they connect from like one device, and then how do they listen to you and watch your screen and participate if they only have one device? So there are things that we can still keep working on it, although remember that that Pear Deck has the option of using self-paced, which means you just send it to the student and they can do it on their own. So I thought that was really cool. We explored that last week. All right, so let's take a look. Let's see if we have anything else new here. So here we took a look then at face-to-face, blended, and online. And the main reason that I wanted to look at these three is because with what's going on right now, we have some new words, and something that Rodri said earlier, we have some new definitions popping up and some new, like, it's all starting to blur the lines a little bit. Yeah, okay, Suli, this was really good. Interact and have real relationships with students. That is so important.
That's one of the hardest concepts to transition to.
Yes, because how do you keep that
online.
how do you keep like that relationship that you have with your students in class, right?
Build a rapport.
Yep,
How
the
do you keep that
rapport.
live?
Yep, it's not easy. And have you guys seen it's very funny but real. Have you guys seen the videos of like teachers or students who have like the video of themselves paying attention like on their phones or something, and then
Yes,
they
in
put it
front of the
like that?
camera and they put it
Yes.
there.
So it's like, how do you right, how do you
Yes.
balance it, and how do you know that the student's actually there, actually paying attention? I saw one yesterday and the guy was in a meeting, the
Oh, and the
tablet
hammock
fell.
falls?
Yeah, the
And the
tablet
hammock, the
fell and he's
guy's
like
on a
sitting in
hammock
a
having a
hammock
drink.
drinking beer.
Yes. I've seen one of a girl really looking like and paying attention, like she's really concentrated, but in the background she's just playing some video games.
Yeah.
And like, seriously.
I have the same thing in my classes. Wait a second. What happened here?
Oh, it happened to you?
Yeah, the same thing.
It's hard. Like, how do you know? And then the other thing is, I was reading a debate on Facebook the other day, and it was, do we force our students to use cameras? Can we force our students to use cameras? So it got into like this whole debate, because it's like, well, it's their privacy, but then as a teacher, how do I know what they're doing? And then it's like all of these things. So I don't know. There's a lot of issues that come up with
A lot of things are blurring.
Yes,
because
yes.
we would call normal behavior inside the classroom can be qualified as a crime or as illegal on online. For example, I need to see you. That's why you pay
I
the
need,
cost for
like,
it. But I need to see you.
exactly.
It's like, it's my privacy. I'm at home.
Yep.
So borderlining a lot of personal rights and a lot of, social engagement that is normal within a classroom.
And I also think it goes back down to like the types of students. Because I mean, if you have young students, then I think you do need the video. Yes, I mean, for sure. But I, for example, when I teach online, when I teach online, I teach Chinese students online, and we don't use camera. It's just voice. And I have like created relationships with some of my students where they have regular students. I see them every week. We know each other already, and we don't know what we look like. Like, they've seen me in a picture. That's it. And I don't know what they look like. So it's crazy to
But
know
that's also a
that it
cultural
can
factor. They're
happen.
not that
Mhm.
interested in seeing it
Yep.
because their
Yep.
whole system was
That's
built
very true.
on that system. Here
That's
we
very
have the
true.
behavioral
We need
anomaly
human
where we're
touch.
making transitions from
Yeah.
a face to face. It's like, you've seen me for 3 months and now you don't. So
Yeah, it's
it's
hard.
making a sane, peaceful, tranquil transition to that online environment without losing the little engagement, the little human factor that we
Yep.
managed to build
That's
during
why
those
for
three
me,
months.
multimedia is so essential
I
when
agree.
teaching remotely,
Mhm.
because at least you can make a quick video or even just an audio so your students can hear you, can see you, can hear you give an instruction. I think that makes a big difference. All right, so I'm gonna stop this one now, and I'm gonna go to the next one, because the next one has the definitions, and I want us to try to get this one done. So it says we're gonna match the definitions. So on the right we have all of these definitions, and on the left we have the keywords. So I wanted to see how we can start like defining these so we're all in accordance with them. Now, I'll give you some time. As you're doing it, I'm just gonna put a little music in the background so we can do it, and we'll get started. All right, let's
Yeah.
check them out. So let's see. So we have here, I love the stick lines. Okay, so by the way, you
Oh
can
my
make them
God.
thinner. You see how I made mine? So I didn't finish because I was paying attention to other things. But the way, just in case you want to teach your students as well, is if you want to make it thinner, you can go here, and then you can make it either thicker or thinner, and that way you can adjust it. So that way you can start like teaching your students as well. So let's see if we all agree. So we have online. So online learning occurs when the learner and instructor or the content are separated by time and distance, and therefore cannot meet in a traditional classroom. Do we all agree with that? Let's see.
Yes.
Yeah?
Online? No.
Online.
Uh,
I don't.
I put results from careful instructional design and planning using a systematic model for design and development.
Yep.
That's,
So online learning is going to be this one. It's this one. So what the
yeah,
key, yeah, what do you think is the keywords there, Zuli?
well, the keywords in here, instructional design and also
Mm-hmm.
planning, because it's hard to plan for online learning, and also because of the systematic model for design.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yep.
think, yeah.
Yeah, and I think this is where the biggest misconception comes, where a lot of teachers are like, oh, so now all of a sudden I have to teach online. We're not teaching online. Online teaching is like a whole process, and people have been studying for years to become online teachers. And the idea is that we can be able to have online and virtual environments, but we're not teaching online because it takes careful instructional design and planning and systematic models, and we don't do that in 1 week or 2 weeks, right? It takes time and effort, and it's impossible to do under the conditions that we have right now. Some people are lucky enough that they have experience in it and they can build it out quite easily, so it could be online learning, but I think right now we're not at that point. So now let's go to the next one. So emergency remote teaching. So let's see. I'm going to go down to one that doesn't have this one. So this one, there. All right, so emergency remote teaching. What do you guys think?
The last one.
The last one?
Perfect.
Rodri. Yeah?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so, okay, so
Emergency is synonymous to crisis.
there you go, exactly. So here, this is the one that we're in right now. This is the reality that we're living. Most people are doing emergency remote teaching. That's it. We have to shift our normal classroom to a different delivery mode, but we're still teaching the same classroom. We're still trying to keep the same techniques and pedagogy model and structures. So that's the one that we're trying to aim at the moment. The next one, face-to-face learning environment.
First one.
First one,
Yeah.
is an instructional
Agreed.
model where course
In person.
content and learning material are taught in person, right? So obviously that is the face-to-face model. So it's in person to a group of students. All right, the next one.
Blended learning is the second one.
So blended learning, yeah. So the second one, I already had that one there. True,
Mhm.
right? And what's the key word there? It combines, right?
Yeah.
Now, something that Rodri said earlier, it has like the flexibility, but it also has the other part. So we have that online learning component where students can control their time, but then there are other things that they have to do in a specific moment, like during a live session, right? And remote learning, obviously, right? The last one. So in remote learning, we have it occurs when the learner and instructor or the content are separated by time and distance and therefore cannot meet in a traditional classroom setting. So the difference between the emergency remote one is that we weren't prepared for it. Simple as that. We just came and we had to do it and we were not prepared. So these I think are some interesting words, because I also think that when we're trying as teachers to find new strategies and new things, we kind of get stuck. We say, well, I'm looking for online learning, but it's not necessarily what I'm doing right now. So if we start looking for the right words, we can start finding more strategies. So emergency remote teaching is definitely the one that a lot of schools and teachers and students are living at the moment. So what do you think? Good little exercise there.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. So there, I'm going to hide the responses now. So let me erase my screen. I got all these things going on. Clear. All right. Perfect. So now we're going to take a look and we're going to see how we can, there we go. We're going to see like a little quiz. I'm going to do a little quiz for you guys. So here, we're going to choose what you find the most challenging when teaching online. So in this is a multiple choice question. So on your end, you're going to see the pictures, but if you go at the bottom, you should have like a little answer question, or if you're from your computer, it appears like on the right side, I think, on the left side. So we have 4 options. A is virtual classroom management. B, connectivity to do synchronous and asynchronous activities, which means you either don't have any kind of connectivity at all, right? Or just for one or the other. And then the C is for connectivity to do synchronous activities, and D is creating online content. So I wanted to see some of your answers so we can kind of base some of the next sessions on that as well and see how else we can help. So we have there, I'm going to show responses here so we can see. I'm not going to vote because that's cheating. Because it's like, all right, so creating online content for sure. Okay. All right, perfect. So, yeah, so that one, I completely agree with that one. And actually, one of the things that we're going to see today is a platform that we can kind of help to do that. I think in each of these topics, we're going to be touching on them like in the next ELT sessions, like in the next ELT lounges. But I think tools, it's like creating content is where a lot of teachers are like stressed, because you're like, well, I have this and it's a Word document, but then how do I make that into an online content? Or how can I share this so that it's engaging for my students instead of just giving them a Word document? Because it's not just about the giving it to them, but making it, engaging, because they're not in a classroom anymore. So we have to give them something else that they can kind of enjoy. Yeah, exactly. So I brought another one for you guys, and one tool that I found very interesting. I hadn't used this one in a really, really, really long time. And Luisa, actually, from the teachers group, she actually brought it up the other day, and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I didn't remember this one. Yeah. So we're going to explore it. So we're going to explore, this is a ready-made lesson from Blendspace, TES. And so in this one, you guys get this screen, but at the bottom where it says answer question, it takes you to the website.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
this is a really cool way where you can take your students to another website without leaving this app. So if you guys notice, it opens the app. So now I'm gonna,
Wait, what are we doing? How are we doing it?
so wait, go back here. When you're on this one, it tells you to answer the question. So when you answer the question, it takes you to the website that I linked to this page, okay? So that's the idea. So we linked it, and what we're gonna do is you can actually explore it. So I'm gonna share it here as well so you guys can see what we're doing. Let me open it. Oh, sorry. So many windows open right now. There it is. Okay, so here. So when you open it, you have this. So this is Blendspace, okay? Blendspace is a way that you can create a lesson plan for your students to follow step by step. So the way it works is each little square is an activity that your student should do, and you can set up a whole lesson plan for them, or a whole unit, or however you want to do it. This is just an example that I found in their library. This one was done by Nidia Ojeda, and the idea is that she was doing an ESL starter grammar review. So the way it works is you have here everything so they can do it step by step, or you can press play and it literally goes, it takes them to do the lesson step by step. So in this case, she has a video. Then the next step is she has like the second video with the numbers, colors. Well, these images don't exist anymore, but she has like a little activity here. So you see now on the right side, we have here discussions. So you can actually have your students discuss on the lesson so you can see what the other students have said in the past. Now, you can add tons of different types of tools on here. This is another really good one for websites where it's embedded. So again, you're not taking your students outside of this and they don't get distracted. What else can I say about this one? I like those are like the main things that I like about it. Now, you can also include your own questions. So you can also make like little quizzes and everything inside of Blendspace. So I'm actually going to show you guys now that you saw an example. I want us to explore it ourselves. So we're going to go to Blendspace, right? It's the one that you'll find here. So TES, Teach with Blendspace. And in this one, you can create your own lesson. So I'm just going to log in. I was playing around with one earlier, so we can kind of do that one. Again, I haven't used this one in a really long time, so there may be some things that I don't remember, and there are some things that I definitely want to check out. So here, okay, so this is what it looks like from our end, from our teacher's perspective. So from a teacher's perspective, you put a title, and you can add as many rows or squares as you want, so you can put a different activity in each one. So if you want to put, for example, here, I just put like a label, I put a little text, so if you want to start with like instructions, you can do that. Here I added a document that I wanted them to do, then I can put a video. So let's go over how we do this. In the square itself, you can either add text or you can add a quiz, right? So if you have the quiz, let's do, so what are the first 3 letters of the alphabet? Letters of the alphabet, right? For example. And then you can put whatever answers you want here. A, B, C, X, Y, Z. And you can add a few more, right? You choose the one that you know is right. So let's say D, E, F. And you're done. So when you do that, it includes the quiz directly into your lesson plan, right? So again, you can do this with labels and quizzes. Now, on the other things that you want to add, you can drop your resources. So to do that, you have here on like the right side, all of the places where you can get your resources from. So you can add YouTube videos. So for example, if we're doing a class with the vocabulary from parts of the house, so you can search for it here. You don't even have to leave. Parts of the house. So we search. These are all the videos that exist for parts of the house. So let's say I want to put this one. You can just drag and drop. And that's it. Now, if you want to put something where it's a Google search, so I'm going to say maybe I want to put some pictures. So I'm going to put a living room, right? I can either look for the definitions or websites that talk about that, or I can look for an image. And so this is a picture of the living room. I'm going to drag and drop that one. So that's it. You can look, add another row. We can keep going. You can search on Flickr as well. So if you want like really cool pictures, you can do that there. You can insert a website. So if I want to insert, for example, our website, eltthinktank.com, you search for it. It'll pop up here at the bottom. And then again, you drag and drop. That's all you do. Let's wait for it to pop up. Other things that you can do. So here it is. See? Drag and drop. Now you can also use other resources that you have on TES. So there is a library that I want to show you guys in a minute. You can connect it with your Google Drive or your Dropbox. So you can just simply drag and drop things that you have in those two things. And you can upload any kind of media or file from your own computer. So I'll show you guys how that's done. So I downloaded like a little worksheet earlier. All right. So I upload it. Once it's here, feelings, quiz, I put it there. That's it. So you can put anything you want. If you're in the States, for example, you do also have the Common Core standards that you can add to your lesson directly. So this is something that you can create really easily. Just put things together to create your lesson, step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and your students can do it on their own. So it is self-paced. So you send this to them and they just do it step by step. They watch the video first, then they do the homework, then they do da-da-da. So if we were to do this one, let's give it a try. I'm going to share it with you guys so you can see as students how it would be. So I'm sharing the link with you guys here in the chat. So you guys can open it and see how it works from that end. I'll also open it here so everyone can see like the other side of things. So when I open up that link, we get this. So now I'm the student. I'm going to sign up so that I can do it like as a student. So I'm going to sign up. I don't think I have a student account. So I'm going to sign up as a student. Oh, I'm an old student. All right. I'm going to register with Google, so it's not that difficult. If they do this once and this is a tool that you want to keep using with them, it's very easy because they only do this once. And look, the registration was not hard at all. I'm registered, so now I can participate. And whenever I'm ready as a student, I can actually just play. So I have the text. So I'm going to switch this over. This is the worksheet that I had added, right? Now, if you notice, oh, look, okay, I didn't know this. Do you see? It has Microsoft Office. Wow. So I download it, I can save it to OneDrive, or I can have an accessibility mode. Nice. Print it out, download as PDF, embed. Just checking to see what are the other tools it has. Okay, cool. So your students could be able to download it, right, and work on it. I'm curious what this does. Okay, yeah, it just turns it into like a PDF. Okay, perfect. So they have the file, they can do that there. Now here, I had a video. This is the one that we did from last week. So you can just insert the video. They can watch the video, right? And we can keep going. Oh, sorry, I left instead of keeping. Done. All right, so here they had the little quiz that we made earlier. Submit a video, the images. So you can make the lesson as you go. So I thought this was really cool, right? I think this is a really good way. And then the thing is here on the side, it has, hold on, let me close this out. On the side, it has a discussion. That's the one I had seen, but I don't know why it's on my screen. It's coming out like this.
But they have to sign up in the to
yeah.
start, right? Okay.
Yeah, so they do have to sign up. I just tried it. What it asks for is your birth date and your email. Usually, I just signed in with my Google account, and it went in directly. That was it. And then once they're signed up, with these kinds of tools that require sign up, I always suggest, like, if you're making them sign up, it's because it's a tool that you're going to be using for the long term, not just for one class, right? Which is what I like about Pear Deck. In Pear Deck, no sign up if you don't want them to, and they can log out, or they can, they can come back to it whenever they want, or it can be just for one lesson and you're good, So this one does require like that extra step if you want them to participate and to actually grade them. So what do you guys think about this? Have you guys seen this before?
No.
No.
Yeah, I thought this was cool. All right.
Yeah.
So what do you think so far?
Great.
Right? It looks nice. Now, the
Yeah.
other thing that I liked about it is that they have the lessons library. So you can go to the lessons library and you can check already pre-made lessons, which is like the one that I just showed you guys. So if I put, I don't know, action verbs, right? You'll have your lessons that were already made by other teachers for action verbs. So I think that's cool as well because you can see other teachers' lesson plans and see how you can, how you can kind of plan your own or even use them in your own lesson plan. So that's the one I wanted to show you guys today. What do you think?
No,
Very
it's
nice.
cool. It's very
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I thought I like I said, I've used this like a long time ago, but I don't know. I just hadn't used it anymore. So look, okay, see, I didn't remember this. So you have classes. I opened a group, which was just called practice groups, but you can create your own classes by grades. You can give it a class name. You have lessons. So if you create a lesson, you can assign it to the different classes that you have. So I think that's cool as well. And the dashboard, which is where we were. We can create a new lesson or join a class. All right, perfect.
I just have a question. When you
Sure.
create a quiz, you
Mhm.
can have the grades or the answers from students?
That's a really good question. Let's check. Because to be honest, I'm just test driving it for the first time. So I answered the question, right? So let's take a look and see how I imagine if I answered it, it has to be stored somewhere. So I just have to figure out how because I'm using the tool for the very first time in a very long time. So let's see if, okay, so look, I can enable comments. I can track views on this lesson. Let's see. Okay, so look, I can track the views, likes or dislikes, comments, and quizzes. I answered one of the quizzes, so here it is. Yeah, you have everything. Nice. Okay, so let me go back so we can see how I did that. We go here to the configuration icon, the settings icon at the bottom, and it says here, track views on this lesson. So I like that because you can even see if they've gone in, like if they've actually even attempted to do it. So you can see likes or dislikes. None. Comments, if anybody made any comments like on the side panel, you can see them here, and if they answered the quizzes. Nice.
Right.
Very good, very good. So you have the quiz view or the table view. Very cool. So yeah, that's pretty much it. What do you guys think? Any other questions? Because I don't know if we need to explore it with anything else.
No, still very useful.
Right? Yeah, I think this is pretty straightforward, and I like how it's set up. I think that visually it kind of just helps students to pace themselves and to take it step by step. Yeah. For basic lessons, I think it's easy. Luisa, she's actually using it for young learners because for her, it was really easy. A lot of the parents for her young learners cannot sit down with her to do the lesson. So this will help them self-pace. So she just goes, okay, we're going to go to the next one. And they go to the next slide. And it helps her to visually kind of guide her young learners as she's going through the lesson. So I've liked that. Yeah, it's a pace lesson for students. Exactly. Okay, perfect. All right, guys. So that's what I wanted to share. What else do you guys have for today? Okay, so if you guys see with Pear Deck, what'd you think of Pear Deck? Oh, as a student now function today, I thought it went really well, right? Like it just kind of, we were able to use it. We got feedback. We had like the little poll, which I thought was interesting. Very cool. Okay,
Still,
I
I
liked
have a
it.
question. From the previous one, can you do it like add things live, like with the one that we're using with Pear Deck or not? Because
I
with
don't
this one,
think
we can do it
so.
like live, but with the previous
Yeah.
one, I don't think so. I think you have to create it and it's established until you send the link. And then, you know, people can keep working on it or something.
This one is a very self-paced, self-study kind of lesson plan. So I think that once it's done, like when you send it to them, of course you can update it, but once you send them the link and they go in, whenever they go in, they're going to see the latest version that you had. That's it, right? But with this one, something that Alejo said, and maybe we went over it last time, but just in case, remember we can actually create one. So if I want to add a new prompt right now, just to see if we're all good and if we're all understanding, I can add something like this. So let's do a quick temperature check. And we can add it immediately. So if you guys go back to the thingamabob, to the Pear Deck, see now it's no longer on the website, it's on the temperature one. So we can do that. There you go, right? So it's really cool, very easy to use, and then that way, like, you can check how everyone's doing, and you can do things on the spot, which I think are really important. I like that too, Alejo. Yeah, because you can have this. So for those of you that hadn't seen this before, so you have here like adding different prompts. You can put write a response, select, enter a number, Venn diagram, different types of diagrams, right? And you also have these. So these are cool. So you can do a drawing, a number. You have lots of options here to choose from. How you feel. Keep going, understand, right? So it's cool. For like that last minute in a live class, I think this is really interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right, guys. Does anyone else have any other questions or anything else that they want to add from today's class? So remember, we had remote learning, online learning, blended learning. We had, of course, emergency remote learning. And the idea is to kind of explore all of these terms so that we know what we're getting into and how we can further improve our teaching with our students. And I hope that you like the tool as well. I wanted to explore that one just a little bit at least. Perfect. Anyone else want to recommend anything before we go?
No.
Actually, I think there's one from
Not
that
yet.
Alejo recommended last time, and I wanted to show it on this one, and I think that's a good like ending to the lesson, and it's this one, the Forvo one. I was trying it out the other day, Alejo, and I liked it, and I think that for teachers that right now are remote, and even when we're not remote, like we don't know how to pronounce every single word. So
Yes, but
if you're
especially when you
having a
want to hear
doubt,
different accents, that's what I like the most,
yes.
because it's not just a computer-based pronunciation. It's just real people who record their voices and then they just post it there, and you know,
I
you can check
absolutely
the
loved
accents.
it. Oh, look, it has here e-learning. Have you checked that out? What is that about?
No.
Oh, okay, so it's like a little course. You can learn with them as well. Nice. So for those of you that hadn't seen this one, we can search for words. We can search, you know, like a regular dictionary, but we can search the pronunciation of English. So give me a word. Let's see. A word that could be a little complicated sometimes to pronounce.
Vegetable.
Good. Perfect. So we look for the word, right? And then when we come here, hold on, let's look, it's still loading. Did I write it right? There we go. So vegetable, we're looking for the pronunciation. Okay, I hadn't chosen the word in English. Here it is. Okay,
vegetable peeler.
Okay, so I'm gonna put, can you guys hear my sound? Okay, so I'm gonna click on it.
Vegetable.
So if I click on this one, you have all of them. So like this is a female from the United States, male United States. And then if we keep going down here, female United Kingdom. So let's take a look.
Vegetable.
Vegetable.
Let's see a British.
Vegetable.
This was pretty similar
Vegetable.
in English, in British English and American.
Vegetable.
Yeah, this one's pretty similar. Well, can we think of one that's different in American and British just to kind of get this to test drive it a little bit?
Schedule and schedule.
Yes.
Because here it will be more like schedule.
Yeah. Okay, so I keep doing that wrong. You have to press the language here. So you have to go here and press and actually click on English, I think. There you go. Pronunciation, done. There you go. All right, so let's click on this one. So this one has 49 pronunciations. So let's listen to an American one.
Schedule.
Schedule. Schedule.
Nice.
Schedule.
Okay, now let's listen to British.
Schedule.
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 All right, and let's try other. So these are from Australia, Canada. So
Schedule. Schedule. Schedule.
Schedule.
nice. Yeah, this is cool. Oh, we have ones from some.
Schedule.
Nice. Yeah, I really like this one. Ever since you showed it to me, I was like, oh, this is so cool. So especially as teachers, like not even like in remote teaching, but if we're in the classroom and we're stuck, you imagine like bringing this out for students and then, or even doing dictations with this instead of your own voice.
That would be great.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
All
like
right, so
it.
yeah. Sorry?
I'm glad you like it.
Yeah, I really like this one. I thought it was really cool. All right, guys. Well, if you don't have any other tips or suggestions or questions or anything, I think we'll be wrapping up for today. But I'm glad that you guys joined us. Yay.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot. Suli, thanks for joining us. Susie, thanks for joining us.
Okay.
Thank you.
To you.
All right, guys. I hope to see you next time. All right. We'll be recording this anyway, so we're gonna be posting it on the thing. I usually edit a couple of things so it's streamlined to watch and maybe easier, a little bit shorter. But I'll be posting it. So if you have anybody else who wants to watch it and see how we use these tools or learn a little bit more about ELT. ELT Think Tank, which is our company. So just for whoever doesn't know, remember, something I wanted to share with you guys. Sorry, before we leave. All right, so it turns out that sorry about that. I wrote it wrong. There we go. So in the company, we are organizing some information for you guys so you guys can have like one place to go and find everything that we're making. So when you visit our website, right, you go here at the top, you can go to Think Up. Think Up is a digital magazine that we have. So we had our first edition in December and we came out with a special edition for everything that's going on with COVID-19. So here you can actually log in or sign up for the ELT Lounge. We have some services for companies, but this is the part that I like. So we have a Padlet where we have tons of tools that you guys can explore that we've put together so you guys can find like different sources. And at the bottom, we have like a little micro course. I made this micro course on Google Slides. Each slide has audio. So the way it works is you just click anywhere.
This is Tatiana from ELT Think Tank.
There you go.
Welcome to the short micro course on how to shift to remote.
And
in this micro course, we will be finding ways to walk you through the shift by going through
If you guys are interested, you can go in and check the micro course and see what you can learn there about all of this transition that we're doing. And it's completely free. It's right there so anyone can use it. Okay?
Okay, thanks.
Thanks.
You.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot for joining us today. Bye.
Take care.
Have a nice
Enjoy
weekend.
the day. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.